Excellent. Thanks, Janine. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Tummy Whisperer podcast. We are on episode number 6. And I think this is going to be my most favorite one so far. We are going to be talking about food, of course, friend or foe. What food feels like in your system, what you notice, how it can translate into symptoms, problems, disease, dysfunction, emotional stress, everything, the whole ball of wax. So I thought this would be a great topic to talk about because so many people, I think, Janine, a lot of people may have questions in their head. Like, when you eat something and you're like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have eaten that. You kind of get this notion that maybe I shouldn't have eaten that. Or you think to yourself, I definitely shouldn't have eaten that, or I wonder if that's good for me. So I want to dive into, what's going in, what's in food today, how it's flavored with preservatives and MSG, and what those things do to cause problems in the body that are just sometimes really hard to get back. In fact, I was at a restaurant one time with Mark. I'm gluten-free, as you know, and I ordered a gluten-free dish that was like a chicken, a chicken finger dish that was like prepared in like a gluten-free flour with all kinds of spices and stuff. And they used MSG, and I didn't know that it was in there. And MSG is like for flavor enhancing and salt, right?
Did they use that as a substitute for gluten? They're like, oh, we'll take gluten out, but we'll put in MSG.
I'm not sure what they were doing, but when I have those types of chemicals, my brain goes on fire. And literally it was within about 3 hours, I was just at home crying, wishing I was not of this earth anymore because it was just so painful. So there's just so much shit in food today for flavorings and additives that it's so hard to get around it. But once you have the power and the knowledge, I should say, to understand what's going in, you're in control of what you're putting in your pie hole. So for you guys listening, I will just tell you about a week and a half before Janine decided to start working with me, I told her, I could see some inflammation. I saw it around her face and her neck, and I saw some kind of dark circles, and I just saw the inflammation it was showing me in her body. And I said to my husband, I love Janine. I don't know if I should tell her. And he's like, if you love her, tell her. So I did. And she said, that's it. I'm going to start working with you. And we didn't actually get started right away because she had a detour into the ER. So Janine, I want you to take it from here.
Sure. So my other half, my hubby, had gone on a work trip into the Florida Keys, and I was by myself for a couple of nights. And literally, I woke up in the middle of the night, and the room was absolutely spinning. And I mean, spinning something that I had never experienced before. I fell back on the bed. I tried to get back up again. I fell back down, and I'm thinking, of all the nights that this were to happen, of course, I'm by myself. So I thought, well, maybe, sometimes when people get up too quickly, they can sometimes experience that, and that might be normal. So I didn't think anything of it, but I took note of it. The very next day, the same thing happened. And I thought, this is scary. I'm by myself again. What do I do? And enough was enough at that point. I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. Something is wrong. I've been feeling fatigued for months. I've been feeling lack of energy in the morning. And notoriously, I've been a morning person my whole life. So for me not to be able to just get up and go in the morning was very out of character for me. And I thought, I need to go. So I went to an ER clinic. It's the closest thing to like a full-fledged ER that they have here in South Florida. They have all the main capabilities as an ER, but you can kind of walk in, so you don't have to like be admitted, but they can keep you there if need be. So I went in, they said, you need blood work. And I got my results back, and my white blood cell count was like through the roof, which detected inflammation or infection. And then my cholesterol was through the roof, but I have a genetic issue with cholesterol. But I knew I had to take a drastic change because something was definitely wrong. So I heeded to your advice. And from that day, I mean, I have not had gluten other than maybe a bite or two from like a birthday party here and there in the last 2 weeks, but maybe a bite or two, I would say. And I feel so much clearer, like less brain fog, and all kinds of things have been happening since then.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, so we dialed back the gluten. We took out histamines, which can cause vertigo, dizziness, just that feeling like you're going to pass out. And yeah, I mean, I just, we haven't even done anything as far as adding any supplements in yet. So to hear you, I mean, you look so much better. To hear you've got that, you've got some life back in your voice. A lot of the fear is gone. And can you imagine if we didn't look at the diet where you may be? And this is not anything against medical doctors. They don't really look at food per se. That's not their training. And a GI doc may look at gluten, but or an allergist may say, hey, you've got this on a scratch test, take it out. But understanding what the symptoms are from these things, that's what people come to me with. That's what their bodies express. And you were expressing them from your hairline to your toenails. I'm so glad that we were able to, here's the chalupas. I'm so glad
the chalupas are in the background.
The chalupas are in the background. Hi, babies. I got Rook underneath. Where is he? Oh, he's somewhere. But I'm just so glad we were able to make such significant change by changing the diet. And Janine, if you don't mind sharing with the audience how you felt about gluten, because it's funny, you were saying, gluten schmooten. I thought that was just full of shit. People were like trying to do it to get skinny or whatever. But give us some feedback on really what what you started with and how you feel now about it.
Yeah, so I was the person that used to make fun of people. I'd be like, oh my gosh, what is this new craze? This like gluten-free, blah, blah, blah. That's only something that these ritzy people do in California. And, it's sweeping the nation. And now every trendy place in South Florida has, gluten intolerance this and gluten. And I had heard of people because I'd worked in a medical facility with food, and people that would have celiac disease obviously couldn't have anything, gluten related. But I didn't think for a minute. And then I had a doctor, I don't know, years ago say, you know what, you should probably try to maybe stay away from gluten. And I completely ignored him.
Oh, you did have a doctor tell you that?
I did have a doctor who's more of a holistic type of internist. He's super cool. I completely ignored him. This was years ago. So I thought to myself, all right, something's got to give. But I would make fun of people. I really thought that this was something way out of the norm.
Yeah, some boutique sort of way of eating. But, from what I've seen in my 19 years of clinical practice, I've seen symptoms that are just crazy. I had a young gentleman, I might have mentioned this on an earlier podcast. He came to me, he'd been to Mayo Clinic in Northwestern. He was having upper body twitching and like involuntary little twitching and shaking. And his neighbor referred him to me, and I thought, oh man, nothing digestively wrong. So he was eating a lot of gluten. He was having for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I gave him all the swap out items. He went and got them. And within 3 weeks, he was 85% better. And this is not an ego thing. This is just like, let's look at why somebody's body is showing us what it's showing us. It's that simple. What is your body showing? Is it showing inflammation, and in what form? And inflammation can be anything from blood pressure dysregulation to cholesterol to rashes to diarrhea to constipation to eczema, to joint inflammation, to just everything feeling just out of whack, So that's
sorry, you see my sign? I am live. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, people are, I'm like, shut up.
It's okay.
Anyway.
That's okay.
We're here.
We're here, but don't edit it out. It's fun. I mean, swearing's therapeutic. I mean, at least for me, it is anyway. So
I love swearing.
all
Amen
about the
for
swears.
swearing. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so back to how your body expresses inflammation. For a lot of people, and not for everybody, but for a lot of people, gluten can be at the helm of it. And when you don't know, you don't know. And until you get desperate enough and scared enough, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that. It's like, okay, we're going to make some changes here now. So I want to invite everybody to pay attention to your body. Pay attention to what you notice. Something as simple as feeling exhausted in the morning because you're sleeping 6 to 8 hours. And if you're getting 8 hours, why in the hell would you feel more tired in the morning than when you went to bed? Well, because your adrenals are off, your cortisol levels off, all from digestion, all from poor digestion.
100%. And I wasn't even sleeping because normally I'm a sleeper, 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I love my sleep.
Me too.
But I wasn't even getting that. I was waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning, wide awake, and then trying to go back to bed on the couch, and then waking up and then feeling like I could go back to sleep
and
for the rest of the day.
Are you sleeping through the night now better?
I am actually. Like, it's been a really good couple of weeks. I have been getting up earlier. I mean, my internal clock is literally getting up again around the 6:30 mark, which was my norm for my whole life.
Right.
So I feel physically better. I feel like the element of exercise needs to be really incorporated more, but other than that,
there is something that's true called exercise intolerance. When you don't have enough nutrients on board to kind of give yourself a get up and go, you don't want to exercise. So I know we've got some testing. Actually, I've got your results back. So we're going to go through those, and we'll start adding in some balancers to digest your food and give you some more of that energy so that you have some get up and go.
You got my results, Renee?
Got them. I've got them.
Oh my gosh.
It's good. It's interesting. I mean, it's not bad looking, but there's definitely some things out of whack that once we start adding in some things to help you with your digestion, that should really make a world of difference even in your energy signature and how you're, able to muster up enough energy to want to do a little bit of walking. But back to noticing, I want to get back to noticing in your body what's not right. We don't feel like we felt like when we were in our 20s. Nobody does. But if you're in your 20s and you're listening to this and you feel like shit, pay attention, because you're heading down that road, and this is not this is not a threat. This is me telling you, hey, pay attention. Because if you don't pay attention, your body's going to pay attention for you. And it's going to give you something that is going to be harder to deal with when you can just kind of get off your ass, make a little bit of dietary change. I mean, Janine, how easy was it to change a diet? And we did a lot. How easy was it?
Really, it was a lot easier, to be honest with you, a lot easier than I thought. And there's so many great gluten-free options that you had suggested to me. Those blueberry muffins are like my favorite thing in the world, by the way. Like, I love them. Gluten-free, Target brand, love them.
Nice.
There's so many, and like the Kind bars, I don't know how great they are for you, but they are gluten-free.
Okay. It's fine for transitioning.
Nuts in it.
Fine for transitioning, and the fact that you're feeling better and what's the dizziness like? Is that almost gone?
I haven't had it.
Oh, it's 100% gone.
I haven't had it.
Hold on, I'm going to do a victory lap around the living room.
I know. The urgent care called me and they said, are you taking the whatever medicine that they gave me for vertigo? And granted, everyone in my family does have vertigo, so it could be a thing, but they kept asking me if I were taking the medication, and I said, why would I take something that I don't need? And they kind of got mad at me, and I'm like, until I find out what's going on, I'm not going to mask the problem with something else. So it could be food related, it could be something, anything.
My sense is that you've taken out some foods that could cause the neurotransmitter shitstorm in your body, right? And cause that destabilization, and you've been fine. So in my opinion, my professional opinion, I say food is it. And if your family has issues with vertigo, non-traumatic vertigo, the first place they need to look at is what they're eating and how they're digesting their fats. So non-traumatic vertigo can also be a deficiency in an enzyme called lipase. and you have that. So when I get the when I go over your results with you, we're going to plug you in with a digestive enzyme that has enough lipase in it so that you can break down your food properly and keep this vertigo out the window.
I'm so excited and nervous and scared at the same time.
Don't be. Your test looked good. I mean, the thing with the urine test is that, think of an orchestra. If you have one little violin that's out of tune, what is it going to sound like? Ah, right? Same thing with the urine test. If there's one little thing that's out of balance, you only had a couple, but it's enough to disrupt the whole beautiful balance of your body. So my job is to help people be empowered to restore their health, restore their digestion so their body can be strong and thrive and not have to be scared by these symptoms, because symptoms are scary, especially, my God, you're by yourself, your hubby's gone, you got the dogs, and I mean, right? And then you're thinking, well, I'm tied up in the ER. Who's going to, poor dogs are going to be by themselves. I mean, I think about that. Mark's gone for a week right now. And I'm like, what if? And hopefully nothing if, but it's worth it to just really make some effort so that you can have some long-term health. So I want to touch on too, when we went through your diet, I was going through Janine's diet with her. We did that in our consultation just to see what she was eating so I can help her make those exchanges. Some stuff she got from Amazon, some from Target, a few things from Whole Foods. There's plenty of places to shop from, to get everything from. And one of the dishes she was eating that she liked was like a chicken and rice dish she would have a couple times a week with this flavor packet. So I asked her politely to read me the ingredients in the flavor packet. As she was reading the ingredients, I was like, eeks, because there was all kinds of crap in there and MSG. And I said, the MSG really should come out, and it's in so much stuff. So like soy sauce has MSG in it and toxic levels of gluten. So if you look at a bottle of Kikomin, I hope they don't come after me, but if you look at a bottle of Kikomin, the second ingredient is wheat textured gluten, which is, and that's how they get it to nice, like the soy sauce is thick and it kind of coats your egg rolls or it coats your food.
That's insane.
Gluten's a thickener. There's plenty of good thickeners out there. There's arrowroot and cornstarch and all kinds of thickeners out there that are gluten-free that helps the body to not realize that the incoming load is an absolute problem, right? When you're sending food down, the immune system shouldn't be going, oh, what's that? Your body should be starting to just digest it. Your immune system should be working to do what it's supposed to be doing for the big bad stuff, right? Not going and attacking your food.
Unbelievable. That's this whole process has just been eye-opening for me. And I didn't realize that MSG was conveniently tucked away in so many foods.
I want to invite everybody listening, and you too, Janine, you've been great at it. I mean, you're like A+ girl. Start looking at the labels of stuff that you're buying. Some clients are like, I don't know what's in this. I actually have to look at pretty much everything that goes into my mouth because I have health challenges that if I'm not clean and careful, I, sometimes could move in the wrong direction, which feels scary, right? So we don't want that. But start looking at what you're eating. People say, I don't want to buy this. I don't want to change this. You don't want to, but you're, again, as far as I know, we get one time on this earth, I think. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm back.
Something like that. Yeah.
I mean, I may be back from another life. I kind of feel like I am a couple times, but, my advice and my wish for everybody listening is to really try to just take care of yourself. If you do one small thing, one little baby step, and try to make it a habit, whether it's taking a minute to take a breath after a meal, sitting, the dishes will still be there. They're still going to be there in a minute, and they'll be there in 10 minutes. Reading a label, maybe trying to look for your favorite muffin in a gluten-free version and taste it and see if you like it and start lessening the load of gluten. I'm not saying everybody has to be gluten-free. That is not 100% true. What I'm saying is for many people, it is hard to digest. It's genetically modified. It's sprayed with a lot of Roundup. It's a hybrid now. And our bodies look at it as a problem, or frankenfood. You might have heard me say that before, this food that's just not from nature. And our bodies are smart, and our bodies know when you put something in that's natural. And our bodies have to process when you put something in that isn't natural. That's why Whole30 became a big craze. And I don't think there's anything wrong with Whole30. I love it. I actually just had a client that went through it, and she really, it was a little hard, but she did it. So it's nothing really out of a box. It's all your proteins, vegetables, fruits, seeds. I'm not sure what else is on Whole30, but she did it. She lost about 8 pounds. Weight wasn't an issue for her, but her inflammation is just way better. She's off of her proton pump inhibitor from eating stuff not out of a box. I do eat stuff out of a box. I have gluten-free crackers. I need a cracker. I need a cracker and some hummus like we need air. So
I love the organic corn tortilla chips from Whole Foods.
Oh, yeah.
They're gluten-free corn tortilla. They're really good. And you know what the biggest thing I've noticed about being gluten-free is I'm not bloated after I eat anymore, which was, you don't realize it. You just think, oh, I'm so full. That's the way I should feel. But it's really not the way you should feel.
Right. I mean, a little bit of like gas, maybe if you have some pizza or something like that's kind of sort of normal to notice it when you're eating poorly. But as an every meals type of thing, no, that's not normal. Exactly. And
I've gone down the rabbit hole, Renee. When I say that in a good way, on 4th of July, I have a dear friend. I went to her house. Her whole family's gluten-free. She made from scratch a gluten-free. It was like a tart. It was like a blueberry tart.
Oh,
it was the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. It was so good. I was like, I'm so excited this is gluten-free. And then for MacGyver's birthday party over the weekend, I ordered cauliflower crust pizza, veggie pizza that was delicious. And I'm like, you know what? I just feel better eating healthier.
Yeah, I mean, your energy is back, your vertigo is gone, your sleep is better, you're waking up with a little more energy. I mean, you are getting back online. Your body is like,
yep.
Yes, thank you. I mean, again, I saw it. I could just see the inflammation. I saw the road you were heading down, and I just knew, I'm like, we gotta do this, And again, you would never think celiac disease for you because you're not celiac disease, but do most people have a non-celiac gluten sensitivity? The ones that are sensitive to gluten? Hell to the yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you can name a symptom and I can relate it back to gluten, from that young man who was having that twitching, to diarrhea, to blood pressure dysregulation, to rashing on the body. There's actually something called dermatitis herpetiformis that causes a certain gluten rash, and it's itchy and painful. And so many, guys, start thinking in terms of what goes in is going to have either a reaction, foe, or it's going to be friendly and nourish your body and help give you the strength that you need to live your life. I mean, that's as clear as I can make it. And I can just list 100 symptoms related to gluten. And I want you guys to hear me. I'm not picking on gluten. I'm not saying it's for everybody. I'm saying if you don't feel well and your blood pressure's out of control and you have dizziness and constipation and diarrhea and skin rashing and bloating and crazy weird symptoms that, you just don't know what to do, start looking at what you're eating and start getting to the store and replacing out with gluten-free things. For everybody listening, my favorite gluten-free bread is Canyon Bakehouse. They make bread, right? They make bread, muffins, bagels, hot dog buns, everything. They make a rye. They make tortillas, the siete tortillas. They make a grain-free chip. They make those tortillas. I love them. If you're having cereal, there's 10,000 different kinds of cereal, everything from Rice Chex to Cheerios. I mean, I don't really love the Cheerios, but if you can get something, if everybody's listening who's near a Whole Foods, if you shop there like I do, there's any of the organic gluten-free cereals are really good. I'm trying to think. There's a vanilla berry crunch by Cascadian Farms, excellent, and not too sweet, which I like. There's everything.
That one is excellent. I've had that one before. It's very good.
Isn't it good? Yeah.
Very good.
A little banana and a little oat milk or almond milk, and it's like, yeah, it's great. So again, the invitation to everybody is to start to be aware and make a little change and see how you do. And of course, if anybody has any questions, I'm always available. Guys can find me at thetummywhisperer.com. You can text to 847-207-2034, and you can send me an email to nhsolutions@sbcglobal.net. Janine, I'm so proud of you.
I'm so excited, and I'm like anxious. Are we going to go over the results over live or?
We can. In fact, I'm going to be on the air. I'll be on WCPT probably next week, and I'll be going over some test results with Patty Vasquez. So she just, we're going to start working with some of her inflammation too. And I know she won't mind me sharing because I'll be on the air talking about it. But she's came to me with some not really digestive issues, but a lot of inflammation in her joints and some energy issues. And she's a high energy person already, but she's having to kind of push herself through. So we just went through our consultation, got her all the gluten-free swap outs, and she's awesome. I love her. But I'll be going over her results live, and we can do yours live too if you want. But I don't want to make you wait 2 weeks. So we can do it, and then we can do it again if you want.
Yeah, I want to know like right now, whether it's on, whether it's live. Like, I just want to know. Like, I'm like all excited.
You're good. You're in good shape, and we'll definitely get our time together. But, thank you just for being open to the help and diving in. I mean, for some people, there's an emotional component to food is definitely emotional for people. And I don't want you guys listening to get into a place where poor Janine got. I mean, it was scary for her. And
it was terrifying. It was really terrifying. I was freaking out.
And truthfully, I didn't know that what I had to offer was going to do anything, but I also knew that it would be stupid to not try that, right? You have to look at what's affecting the body. So we try that first while she's waiting to hear from the doctors, which she still isn't hearing from.
I actually heard from them for the first time over the weekend. They finally called me after I called and called and
4 weeks later.
Yeah, like calling. I finally got a hold of them. They want to check my hormones, this, that, and the other. And it's like, listen, it's always something else. Take this medication for this and do this for this, but let's not address the actual problem and the issue.
Right. Again, to their defense, they're not looking at food as chemistry the way pharmacology is. I mean, medications are strong. Food is too. Everything has a cellular reaction. Everything. And your emotions are really at the helm of all of it. And we can get into that. In fact, I'm going to bring on in one of my episodes a lady that I just started following her, and she's amazing. She's a trauma release coach, and she does hair analysis for minerals that are depleted from trauma and how the body goes into really kind of a permanent off switch or permanent on switch, and how we just can't get ourselves from sympathetic to parasympathetic and have the body do that change. It's really cool. And of course, trauma is at the big helm of that. So yeah, I'd love to have her on. She's great. But anyway,
that's awesome.
Yeah. But thank you, Janine, for being a willing participant. I'm thrilled that you got your life back. You're feeling secure. You're feeling safe. You're feeling good. You're excited about your food. I mean, you've got joy in what you're eating, and it tastes good.
Really good. Makes me feel good too. Makes me feel healthy, and that's the best thing.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see what the future holds with that. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, we will keep everybody posted.
Follow Renee.
Yep.
Follow her. Spotify, Apple. Leave her a 5-star review. She's amazing.
Thank you, Janine. Thanks, everybody. Take good care. Be well. See you soon.